You've been told all engine oils are the same. That lie kills most cars before 100,000 miles and costs drivers over $3,800 in engine repairs. But today you'll see 5 oils you should never use and 2 that actually keep your engine alive past 300,000 miles. Stay till the end because the last one takes just 10 seconds to check and can save you a $4,000 mistake. 5. Generic no-name oils. This is the biggest trap for car owners. You'll often see cheap bottles at small shops or gas stations with names you've never heard of: Turbo Blend, Super Max, or Ultra Lube. The packaging looks shiny, but if you look closely, these bottles don't carry any certification marks from API, ILSAC, or ACEA. That's a big red flag. These untested oils might contain poor quality base fluids or reuse stock mixed with dyes to make them look golden. They might not resist heat, oxidation, or friction the way certified oils do. In Texas, a man named Brad learned this the hard way. His mechanic used budget blend oil during a quick service. 3 weeks later, his engine started knocking and the oil light came on. When they drained it, the oil had turned into sticky black sludge. Lab tests showed it was mixed with cooking oil and industrial fluid. The result? A ruined engine and a $4,000 repair bill. Always check for the small certification logos. If they're missing, don't touch that bottle. Good oil brands always show their credentials proudly. It's better to spend a little more today than face engine failure tomorrow. 4. 20W50 oil in modern engines. 20W50 oil used to be the king of protection for older muscle cars and heavy-duty engines. Back in the 1970s and 1980s, it worked well because those engines had wider gaps between parts and ran hotter. But today's engines are designed with much tighter tolerances and advanced oil flow systems. Using 20W50 in a modern car is like trying to swim in mud. It's just too thick. This heavy oil moves slowly, especially in cold weather. During startup, it can't reach critical parts fast enough. That moment of dry friction can shave years off your engine's life. It also increases drag inside the engine, which means your car uses more fuel to move the same distance. Many modern engines even have variable valve timing systems that depend on oil pressure. Thick oil like 20W-50 can delay or block that system from working correctly. One driver in Florida used 20W-50 in his Honda Civic thinking thicker means safer. After 6 months, his engine began knocking loudly. When he opened it, the bearings were worn out because the oil couldn't flow properly. Unless your car manual specifically lists 20W50, which is rare today, avoid it completely. 3. Non-detergent motor oil. Non-detergent oil might sound harmless, but it's one of the worst things you can use in a modern engine. These oils were used decades ago when engines didn't have filters or high compression. They lack the detergents and dispersants that keep modern engines clean. Without these additives, dirt and carbon build up quickly inside your engine. When sludge and debris settle, oil passages start clogging. That leads to poor lubrication, overheating, and eventually total engine failure. A car owner once bought old stock oil labeled non-detergent for his 2008 Ford Focus, thinking it was better for the car. Within months, his engine started leaking oil and losing compression. When a mechanic opened it, the inside was coated with thick black residue, exactly what detergent oils are designed to prevent. Modern engines rely on detergent oil to stay clean and run efficiently. Non-detergent oil should only be used in air compressors, lawn mowers, or antique engines that specifically call for them. Never put them in your daily driver. 2. Recycled or re-refined oil. Some brands sell recycled or re-refined oils, claiming they're eco-friendly and just as good as new, but not all of them are properly cleaned or tested. Used oil contains metal shavings, soot, acids, and fuel residue from old engines. If this oil isn't refined correctly, those contaminants stay in and start wearing your engine from the inside out. In Michigan, a small gas station was caught reselling used oil in new bottles after customers complained about black smoke and engine failures. When investigators tested it, the oil had 60% more impurities than allowed. Cheap re-refined oils can clog filters, create sludge, and corrode seals. Even when they look clean, they may have degraded additives that don't protect against friction or heat anymore. Unless the bottle clearly says it meets official API or ILSAC standards, it's not worth the risk. Think of it like drinking water from a reused bottle bottle that hasn't been washed properly, you can't see the danger, but it's there. 1. Wrong viscosity grade. Most people think any motor oil will work fine, as long as it says for cars. But viscosity, the thickness of the oil, can make or break your engine. Every car engine is designed to run on a specific grade, like 5W30 or 0W20. These numbers describe how the oil behaves in cold and hot temperatures. The wrong viscosity means the oil either flows too slowly or too fast. If you pour thick oil like 20W-50 into an engine made for 0W-20, the oil moves sluggishly, especially during cold starts. Metal parts grind before the oil reaches them, causing tiny scratches that slowly destroy your engine. On the other hand, if you use oil that's too thin, it won't maintain enough pressure at high temperatures. This can lead to overheating and increased wear on pistons and valves. For example, a driver in Canada used 0W20 oil in an older truck that needed 10W40. Within weeks, his engine began smoking and losing power because the oil broke down under heat. Always check your owner's manual and match the grade exactly. Saving a few minutes guessing at the oil rack could save you thousands in repair bills later. Engine oils that works. 2. Mobil 1 Extended Performance Full Synthetic 5W30. Most drivers think all oils protect the same, but one oil quietly outlasts almost everything else. Mobil 1 Extended Performance 5W30. This oil was made to go the distance, up to 20,000 miles between oil changes. That means less time under the hood and more time driving. Inside the bottle is an advanced full synthetic formula. It protects your engine parts even when temps hit 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit inside the cylinders. Some cheap oils burn away under that heat, turning into black sludge that looks like burnt lasagna. Mobil 1 stays clear and slick. It doesn't bake. It doesn't thicken. That's why it gives 20 times better protection in high temperature than regular oils. A customer in Nevada once loaded 800 pounds in his pickup and drove through 115 degrees Fahrenheit heat. Normal oil would have broken down fast. Mobil 1 kept pressure steady and the engine cool. That saved him a $3,200 repair bill. Mobil 1 isn't just a random brand, it's the official oil for NASCAR and Chevrolet Performance. Big names like Bentley, Corvette, Cadillac, Mercedes-AMG, and Porsche use Mobil 1 right from the factory. Why? Because it was built by a company that's been doing this since 1866. Back then, Mobil started as the vacuum oil company, and by 1971, they made Mobil 1 Synthetic, the first global full synthetic oil. Here's the trap: some dealers upsell you lifetime fluids, but lifetime doesn't mean forever, even synthetic oil ages. If you hit 15,000 miles, check your dipstick. If the oil looks dark or smells burnt, change it. That one test can save your engine. Mobil 1 works great in cars with stop-start systems, turbochargers, hybrids, and even diesel engines with DPF filters. It keeps parts slick, quiet, and clean. If you want your car to run smoother, stay cooler, and last longer, this is the fix. But there's one more oil that's just as strong, and it's made for the pressure modern engines face every single day. 1. Castrol Edge Advanced Full Synthetic 0W20. Castrol Edge 0W20 is made for the engines that live under stress. The ones that rev high, heat fast, and don't forgive mistakes. It uses fluid titanium technology, which sounds fancy, but means this: the oil gets tougher under pressure. When the pistons slam up and down 4,000 times a minute, the titanium molecules flex and stop metal on metal grinding. That small shield makes a huge difference. A driver in Arizona tested it on his Toyota Camry at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. After 60,000 miles, the pistons still looked new. He said the engine ran smoother and quieter than before. The same test with budget oil. It turned dark and sticky in 3,000 miles. That's the fear, hidden where you can't see until it's too late. Castrol isn't new. It started in 1899 when engineers found that adding castor oil helped engines start in cold weather. Over a century later, the same brand powers NASA missions, the Mars rover, and Formula 1 cars. It's used in marine, industrial, and EV engines too. When an oil can handle a rocket and a race car, it can handle your daily drive. Many drivers don't know, idling doesn't warm your engine faster, it just wastes fuel and builds carbon. Drive gently for the first 5 minutes instead. That helps your Castrol EDGE flow right away and reach every bearing. That's the fix most people miss. If this helped you understand your oil better, stop scrolling and hit subscribe right now. It's free and keeps you from falling for those lifetime fluid myths next time you change your oil. Castrol Edge is for anyone who wants easy starts in freezing mornings and protection in boiling summers. It stays thin at -30 degrees Fahrenheit, but strong at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That means clean power, less noise, and zero sludge. A 5-quart jug costs around $32 on Amazon, and that's cheaper than a single $500 engine sensor replacement. If your car means more than just getting from A to B, don't stop here. The oil is only half the story. The next video shows. Click now before your next drive costs you $2,000 in hidden wear.